Woo! Yo, what's good, guys? It's been a while since I did a pickup video. Let's get into it. We're gonna jump into this one in a bit. Start off with this one. So I forgot I had this one. This one's actually from Nike or Finish Line. Air Jordan 11 Low, white / varsity red - black. Or as you would call it, Cherry Lows. My actual first Jordans were actually these in 2001. The cherry, white, red, 11 Lows, whatever you guys want to call them. There's a couple differences. Use that for comparison. Nice little tracing 23 paper. Although I don't have a 2001 pair, which I'm still looking for, this will be basically a comparison. The 2000 Concord 11s. The padding on this is really nice. It's real soft, but something about this one is, I don't know if it's because it's not broken into, or it's just new, or it's new materials that they've been using. It's not the same, you know, it just feels different, you know, when you compare the two and how they feel and everything. A little more stiff, more rugged feel. This one's more soft, a little nicer, more feel. These are a little bit more special to me because this is actually my first Jordans that I got. And whenever I see this model, it holds a more emotional attachment to me. Everyone knows that you're basically your first pair of Jordans. When you see it, you're like, yo man, those are my first Jordans. That actually means a little more. Those mean a little bit more to me than a lot of the other Jordans. Love this colorway. Jordan 11s were my very first Jordans. This colorway, man. But when they finally retroed it, it was something I was really happy about. Yeah. First Jordans. All right, now for this one, I actually got this on sale at the Nike outlet recently, this past weekend. $69.97. Came to $75 after tax. These are the black and red bread AJKOs. Okay. Now, this is something I passed when they actually first released. I kind of figured that the AJKOs weren't, you know, really gonna sell out, so I just basically passed. And I just decided to stop by the Nike outlet this past weekend, and I just so happens to stumble these. $75, $69. Something that I was like, not really a brainer for my sizes there. I do have the OG pair here from 85, and there are a couple things I did notice. One of the things I did notice is that, I don't know, it's because that the new pair is actually like laced in really tight or closely compared to the 85 pair, where it's just basically standing out in a more padded area in the collar area. Number two, what I did notice was actually on the 85 pair, on the uppers, on the black part is actually darker compared to the retro one, where the retro is actually like a lighter, looks kind of faded, but it's like a lighter black compared to the 85 pair. The other thing I did also notice was that the tongue on the 85 pair is a lot more soft. It just feels real nice. It's kind of like the 2000 Concords, but I mean, it's really soft compared to the retro. It's like stiff. Again, I don't know it's because if it's brand new and it hasn't been broken into, but you can just feel the difference. And the other thing I did also notice is that actually the red on the 85 pair is actually a lot brighter compared to the retro. It's kind of like 2001 red ones, where the red is like super vibrant and bright and everything, compared to the 2016 red ones, where it's darker and you can really tell the difference. But otherwise than that, this was really like a no-brainer for me. For $69.75 after tax, why not? Yeah, AJKOs. Last but not least, Canon G7X Mark II. I actually got this off Craigslist for a really good price. The guy included a SD card as well, so I was like, hey, that's not bad actually. Now, the main reason why I got this camera is basically a couple reasons. One is that I've always wanted a point and shoot that has the capabilities of a DSLR. Although I do have a DSLR which is recording right now, is the D750. This is a D800 with a 24x70. In the past, I've always had, let's see here. Now in the past point and shoots I've had, cool, Pentax 35mm film camera. It's a Canon AE1. All right, like to give a quick rundown history, my first point and shoot was actually this guy here, Fujifilm A205. When I went to Hawaii like 10 years ago, this was like one of the first point and shoots I've had. I mean, look at that screen, it's less than an inch. If I can get this thing to turn on. No? Okay, this thing doesn't want to turn on. I'm gonna figure it out later, but this is one of the first point and shoots I had, and you know, I took pretty good images with this one, to say, you know, for what it was. And then later on down the road, I ended up getting this Sony Cybershot. This is a really good camera, by the way. I don't know where that camera is, but I mean, it's somewhere here, but this is actually a really good point and shoot in terms of like recording stuff. Sony makes some really good point and shoots. And then, you know, the transition from like these point and shoots goes to DSLR. In the past, I've always had, you know, this is one of my first full frame cameras, the D700. I love this camera. This camera is amazing. I had a D40, a D90, a D300. This one's the 800. The one I'm recording is a D750, which is like my main primary camera. I shoot film and stuff like that. One of the film camera bodies I actually use is actually this guy right here. It's basically a film. There's no LCD screen on the back or anything. And this camera is really good, but it still has the functionalities of you can actually use your lens and it autofocuses and all that kind of stuff. Again, this is a really good camera. A point and shoot that has actually DSLR capabilities. This camera is great. Has a touchscreen where you can like mess around and stuff. Has manual focus. You can actually like mess around with the shutter, the f-stop. Oh, speaking of f-stop, that was one of the good things about this camera is it's actually f1.8. What that basically means is this is a 50-1.4 and this is a 85-1.4. This basically allows the camera to have more light because of these fast lens here. And this lens here is actually a 1.8 to 2.8. To have that for this camera with basically manual settings, you can mess around with the shutter, the f-stop, and the ISO capability is really good. It was something I was like, man, I really like this camera. Not to also mention, since now I vlog, you know, there's an LCD screen. Hey, this camera overall is really good. I haven't done too many tests to it, but overall it's a really good camera from my tests and the stuff that I would be doing to it. Not like no extreme measurements or all those kind of like weird funny tests. Basically, I'm doing tests that in real life that I know I'm going to be using and doing. So one of the questions I've been asked most is because since I post a picture on Twitter, I let people know, will I be using this or this DSLR? One function I wish I really did have was actually external mic. The one that you guys are actually hearing now. Yeah, that's the external mic. It doesn't really have it, so I mean that's not too much of a big deal, but overall I mean this camera is really good. But will I be using this for vlogging? Yes and no. See, the thing is with these DSLRs is that these point and shoots you can actually bring into concerts and events and stuff like that. With these you can't. It depends really. So for an example is in the past when I was actually wanted to go to concerts and enjoy it but still take pictures and record what I wanted to do, I couldn't bring these guys in here. The security would stop me. They would ask if I have credentials, if I have a media pass stuff, and that's where basically this you can't. Well, for this you can. One of the things is these are detachable lens. I'm not going to take it off because there's dust. They're detachable lens, and a lot of concerts, if you go to the info part, it says you can't. Sometimes like basketball arenas, they allow 3 inches or less. So, but like I said, it's interesting. It's different every time you do these kind of events or anything like that. So that's kind of like why I wanted this camera for the functionalities that a DSLR has into this guy right here. In the past that I've shot music concerts for like, I've shot for like Big Sean, Dom Kennedy, my type of party, Steve Aoki, got me woke up. Laid Back Luke, Travis Scott, Janae Aiko, Wale, just to like name a few, Nelly too. And you know, I had media credentials where you're taking pictures in a photo pit unless you had VIP or all access to go on stage and stuff like that, to meet them and stuff. That's when I could actually use this. Now, if you're a regular person trying to enjoy the event and stuff, but you still want to take pictures and you have a DSLR, it's like a 50-50 chance depending on like the venue itself, if they're gonna let you allow you basically or not. So it's like a really toss in the air. Some of these events, the security, they're really strict. And I know some people are saying like, oh, there's other point and shoot cameras and stuff like that. But because of the specs and features that of the camera that I've always wanted, because I'm so picky, this is more ideally for what I'm going to be doing, especially that with this LCD screen and all that kind of stuff. It just suited something that I always wanted. So again, will I be vlogging with this? Yes and no. Now Kanye West is coming down to the Bay Area. I'm going to be performing at the Oracle, and I'm actually going to be using this camera basically for it. It's been a while since I did a pickup video. I hope you guys like it. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't yet, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below. What's your favorite type of camera gear or anything like that. If you guys want me to talk about more photography related things on camera gear, film, Polaroids, vintage cameras, I'll let you guys know this right now. I am, however, working on this collection video. I need to update and like Dunks and Jordans and all that kind of stuff. Thanks again, guys. Hey, it's lit.